This is our second session with Mac's horse Hank and our veteran farrier, Mr. Kirk Underschultz. This is session number 2, and we're going to have Mr. Underschultz show us where we're at currently, how well the horse is maintained since last trim, and where we're headed. Take it away, Mr. Kirk.
Well, Hank has pretty much kept what we put on him last time. He hasn't made any adjustments, tried to go back where it was, so that tells me that what we did was correct for this horse. So we want to, at the very least, maintain it and hopefully make him better again. Now, last time, it's fly bobbing again. Yeah. We left him last time after all of our changes. He was still long on the inside. So we'll take a measurement, and it's not helpful, Hank. He's 3 inches of length on the inside of the quarter, on the inside, or middle of the quarter, on the inside. He is 2.5 inches here on the outside. We'll measure the other front foot.
Get you a little backup step there. That'll help you. That'll help our camera purpose too. Thank you.
And there's the same 3 inches and 2.5 here on the outside. So he's tilted this direction on both front feet.
Okay.
Now, I'm not concerned about making the 2 feet match. I want to do the best job we can on the left one and the best job we can on the right one. Horses do very well when the left foot and the right foot are the same. But he is so far down the road from matching up. We want to do the best we can on each one. If it turns out like we've got right now that it's the same or very close or similar, that's great. But that's not today's aim.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you that's been kind of eating at my mind a little bit is we can all see that the right front foot is worse, that it's out of balance. But looking at the left front foot, by your measurements, prove that the left front foot has a lot of imbalance as well that doesn't seem to catch the eye. Why is it that one foot is more extreme than the other in this horse's case?
Well, I would state differently. You say that the right front is worse.
Okay.
I look at this horse and I say the left front's horrible, but the right front is even more horrible.
Okay.
Now, if his right front was a normal foot, then you'd be appalled at how bad this left foot actually is.
That's a good point.
But because the right front's even worse, we
Yeah.
tend to focus on that and accept this.
Okay.
That's where I'm not saying I don't care if his feet match at this point.
Yeah.
I want the best we can do on the left and the best we can do on the right.
And what you're saying then is the left is not at its best.
I'm
this
saying
point.
the left is
Yeah.
worse and
Yeah,
the right
okay.
is more worser.
Yeah. More, yeah. That's great.
I think what throws the eye off, what makes you think that the
Okay.
black foot is in worse shape than the white foot. This heel is not as crushed and rolled under as this heel is.
Oh, okay. Yep.
If we look at
Yep.
the foot, if we pick that foot up and look at the bottom,
Yeah.
it becomes obvious. So let's
Okay.
turn him around. We'll stop
Okay.
videoing for a moment. We'll turn him around so the light's on the bottom of his foot. And we'll get a good picture of exactly that.
Okay. Make our turn. All right. We are back. They're positioning
Yeah.
Hank so we can see the bottom of the foot better.
Let's pick this up before you start videoing and make sure we got good light on it. Yeah, back him up. Yeah, back him up in the door. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That made a big difference. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to scoot him over a little bit. Throw Hank. That a boy. Yep. That's enough scooting. Perfect. Mr. Hank, perfect. All right, you ready
great.
for the bottom now?
I am ready. Yes, sir.
All
We're
right.
rolling.
Let's take a look here. And to my eye, that white foot looks wider, but again, I always measure. So Going across at the widest point of the foot, we have 4 3/4 inches.
Okay.
Let's remember that for the other foot when we compare.
Okay.
But you can see right here how
Oh,
rolled
yeah.
under that foot is.
Wow, yes, that's very obvious. And when you measure it, it makes it even more obvious to the eye. But that's very, yeah.
You can also see where the whole toe is stretched, that white line is pulled.
Oh, yeah, good point.
And that's where the toe is so long and flared out that there's tremendous resistance here to breaking over. And it's literally shearing
Ah, okay.
that toe at the wall. But that's just more trimming. That's just a couple more go rounds. So now let's look at the other foot. Hold on, Mr. Hank. Attaboy. There you go. But you can see the difference here. This heel is not nearly as rolled under as on the Blackfoot.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
makes this foot appear to be so much better.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yep.
Now our width, we're the same. We're still 4 3/4 inches. So
That's amazing too, how they can measure close but be that far apart visually.
Yep.
Another reason to measure. That's great.
this is probably how we should stand him for trimming feet too, because you get good light, huh?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe we should add that Mac, what have you done with him since our last visit to get him ready? Because he's more friendly today and he's just getting better each time we see him.
Yeah, so I've been pretty busy with school. You know, we all know life gets in the way sometimes. So I think had I had him 100% of the time I wanted to, he'd be an even different horse than he is right now. But just spending a lot of time with him, I'm kind of uncovering the layers of trauma that have made this horse what he is. The last time that we stood here, I was having to keep a hold of this halter to keep him in one place. He was
That's
shaking.
why I wanted you to speak a little bit on it, because I know this doesn't happen without you putting in extra time and work in between our visits.
Yeah, you know, at first I kind of tried to do my typical thing, and I just found myself not literally chasing him around, but I felt
Right,
like I
yeah.
was reaching more than, you know, I wanted to meet us, or to have us meet in the middle. So I spent a lot of time, I just sat out in the round pen with him, and I just sat there, and I wanted him to come to me, and I just sat there and I read a book. That was kind of our first day, and he finally came up to me, and I think peppermint treats are the favorite, as we've learned today. We won't even take apples, so that was a big part of developing our relationship, since Tractor Supply peppermint treats. But after that, we just started going on walks around the trails. I just tried
Great.
to do some scary, weird things, probably looked like a crazy person with some desensitizing, but
Awesome.
I'm just taking it slow. I listen to him when he says, I've had enough for today, or you can tell, you know, he really gives you a lot of feedback. He's a really intelligent voice.
So I would imagine
highly of it.
Kirk is getting in position to trim. So one last comment here is, we're probably going to have him physically ready to ride, maybe, but mentally you'll still have to do your part. So he's mentally ready to ride.
Yeah, we've
But
got
physically,
a lot of
he's
work.
coming along well. But I just wanted to take a minute while Kirk was getting set up to address that issue of they can be physically ready to ride, but they need to also be mentally ready to ride.
Yeah, his mental
So-
rehabilitation is the very first
Great.
step, and it's
Great.
going to be the biggest step for sure.
Well, we're going to sign off here for a minute, and next time we see you here in a few minutes, we'll be doing some trimming.